Today's topic: why promiscuous women are a good thing and should be celebrated. That's right. I'm your host. Now, let's get serious for a minute. There are many channels on YouTube and articles on the internet in the so-called Manosphere and red pill space that attack women for being promiscuous. Per example,
hard-working.
You want a traditional man?
I do.
Okay, is it not fair for him to want a traditional woman in exchange and you're not a traditional woman?
It is. Because I cook, I clean, I take care of the house, I make sure there's always food on the table for him. I do the wife stuff. My only flaw in this relationship is that I was a dancer before him, and I want to make money to pay for my stuff.
Okay, so here's the thing. Women want a man with a future, men want a woman that doesn't have a past. That's the unfortunate, ugly truth.
That's true.
So if you want a traditional man, he's not going to accept that from you.
Shaming women for sleeping around and being easy is nothing new. Going back even further in the history of humanity, promiscuous women could suffer brutal attacks and even death with full approval from society. Okay? Now, I thought we as men were supposed to be the gender that was better at math. At least that is the stereotype. So, if we are the better mathematicians of the human race, then why do our math skills become so inadequate when we look at the dating market, okay? If the numbers are true, that 80% of women are sleeping with 20% of men, then imagine what the numbers would look like if 100% of women were not promiscuous. I repeat, not promiscuous.
I have to first explain to those of you that don't know what the 80-20 rule is in the first place. So we're going to break that down right now. Here I'll explain how the 80-20 rule works through these stick figures I drew. So here we have 10 guys and we have 10 chicks right here. And I'm going to break this down to you. So 80% of women, these are women, they have the little dresses. Yes, I tried to draw the dresses. 8 out of 10 believe, or are attracted to, I should say, the top 20% of men. That's it, okay? Look at this, guys. The vast majority of women are only attracted to the top 20% of men. You see this? So this leaves a significant portion, a significant amount of men that are single, that are not taken.
Think about it. The only reason some of you have sex is because women are promiscuous. If no women were promiscuous, the majority of men would be virgins, because the numbers seem to indicate that the majority of men are already virgins, or at least a very sizable chunk of the male population. So, you take promiscuous women out of the picture, how many men are virgins now? Almost all men are virgins, because if 80% of women are targeting the top 20% of men, when women are promiscuous, you remove the promiscuous women from the equation. Now you have 100% of women targeting the top 10% of men, okay? Or something like that. So there is a narrative out there that sex is harder to get for the majority of men. There are also numerous so-called dating coaches who instruct men not to wait too long to have sex. In other words, if a woman doesn't put out fast enough, you need to drop her, you need to ghost her, you need to break up with her. That is what the dating coaches teach, while simultaneously shaming women for being promiscuous. Now, ask yourself this question, okay? If you are looking for a wife, a woman that is not promiscuous, who is wife material, but when you go out on dates with women, you ghost them if they do not put out fast enough, wouldn't you actually be losing out on the so-called wife material woman? Because you would essentially reject a woman who does not act slutty. and therefore limit yourself only to promiscuous women, then once you get into a relationship with a promiscuous woman, you are turned off by the fact that she has a past. You are turned off by the fact that she has slept with many, many other men before you. Well, what did you expect? Okay. You go on a couple dates, you get her in bed. You really think you're the first person to do this. But what the men want is to be, what they want is for women to be easy for them, but difficult for every other man. And this is a highly delusional mindset. Okay? A highly delusional mindset. So, if we're going to say that promiscuous women are bad, but when a woman waits too long to sleep with you, she gets rejected, you pretty much put women in a situation where they are damned if they do and damned if they don't. Okay? That means you are limiting yourself only to the promiscuous women. I must admit that the less disingenuous men out there and men who can do the math properly will be a little bit more honest about the situation. And what these men will say is something along the lines of, some girls are for love and some girls are for fun. In other words, promiscuous women are for fun and non-promiscuous women are for love. But then again, these non-promiscuous women will get ghosted and rejected before you even get a chance to date them because they don't put out fast enough. So how are you going to end up with these women? I don't know. Anyway, the girls who are for love that you pedestalize so much will have a very high standard, okay? Men need to understand this. These women who don't put out and are very careful about their numbers or their so-called body count are not going to put out easily. And they're going to be very, very, very picky about the men they put out too. Which means if you think women are already unrealistically picky, imagine if you remove promiscuous women from the equation. Imagine then how picky women will become, okay? They will vet you severely and wait longer to sleep with you. You will not be getting laid. You take promiscuous women out of the equation, you are not getting laid ever. You are a 40, 50, 60-year-old virgin. Is that what you want, men? Is that what you want? I don't know. So, another common saying in the, male circles is, what we want is a lady in the sheets and a freak. No. What we want is a lady in the streets and a freak in the sheets, okay? In other words, we want a woman who is very conservative and classy in public, but in private, she behaves like a promiscuous woman. Okay? How are you going to find some virginal wife and expect her to have the sexual experience to be a freak in the sheets? Does that make sense? You want a freak in the sheets, you're going to need a woman with experience. Okay? But yet when you find out she has experience, this is a problem.
I was always like, I can't ever let my digits, my body count get into like the 10s. It can't go above 10. It can't ever reach double digits.
But then you get to the 2 hands. And it was like, you could never go over 2 hands. It was just like, you're over 10, you are a hoe. Like, you are a hoe. You're a hoe.
So men, many of you are being just as delusional and just as hypocritical as you claim the female gender to be. Okay? Gentlemen, you cannot have your cake and eat it too. You cannot have your cake and eat it too. I repeat, you cannot have your cake and eat it too, okay? Most of you will never qualify for these so-called virginal women you want as wives, okay? You will either ghost them because they won't pull out fast enough, or they will ghost you because you don't measure up to their standards, okay? They're very high standards. You see, a woman has to have very high standards to keep her body count low, okay? Do you understand this? Do you understand this? So, without promiscuous women, the majority of men will be virgins, okay? Now, men, my only advice to you, and the only point I'm trying to make, because I will say right now, as a fellow man, I am not going to act like, I am supporting being highly promiscuous to a ridiculous extent. And if we are going to be completely honest, there are biological reasons why men do not like promiscuous women. And the biological reasons for this are going back to, caveman days. A man wants to make sure the kids he's raising are his because, the man does not have to be present for the birth of a child. So, when a child is born, how does a man know the kids belong to him? Well, he knows the kids belong to him if he is the only man sleeping with that particular woman. But if that woman is promiscuous, he has no way of knowing if his kids are in fact his, because those kids could have come from any man that woman has slept with if she has slept with multiple men recently. So that is the reason why. That is the reason why men do not like highly promiscuous women. Or rather, do not trust highly promiscuous women to be good wives. There is a reason. There is a reason. But the middle ground needs to be this. People are allowed to be different. Yes, some girls are for love and some girls are for fun. And that is okay. Every woman does not have to be wife material. Every man does not have to be husband material. Every woman does not have to be feminine. Every man does not have to be masculine. Diversity is what allows us to understand the value of different types of people. The only reason you know that the woman is attractive is because another woman is ugly. The only reason you know a woman is slim is because another woman is large, okay? The only reason you know a man is short is because another man is tall. The diversity among the population is what allows us to know, it's what allows us to have our preferences, it's what allows us to know what we like and what we don't like. So, there's no reason to shame people for being what we don't like, because those people are what allow us to know what we do like. We know what we like because we've been exposed to what we don't like, okay? So yes, people are allowed to be different. And promiscuous women should in fact be celebrated because they are in fact for fun. And fun is a good thing last time I checked. Men, do you like to have fun? Okay then. So why are you attacking and shaming the very women they are allowing you to have fun? Why do you have a problem with women that allow you to have fun? These women that are promiscuous should be celebrated. They should be enjoyed. Stop attacking them. Leave them alone, okay? Leave them alone. Understand this, gentlemen. Men who attack promiscuous women are shooting themselves in the foot, okay? Because this diversity benefits everybody. Everybody, okay? If you don't like promiscuous women, simply don't date them and stay a virgin. Because that's probably what's going to happen, okay? A man who wants a virginal wife is just as delusional as a woman who wants a charming, tall, faithful, millionaire husband. Is it possible? Yes. Okay. Is it probable? No.
Jack, it's not possible.
Not probable.
And we, as human beings, if we want to be wise, and make wise choices and wise decisions to get to a place where we can live our best life, Is it in our best interest to live in a world of possibilities? No. It is in our best interest to live in the world of probabilities rather than possibilities. It is in our best interest to be realistic. It is in our best interest to see the world for what it really is, see people for what they really are, and make our choices accordingly. Realistic expectations, okay?
And the dating pool is just getting really shallow. Actually, so shallow, I'm in repeats. That
What does that mean? Is this a Samantha Jones moment where you're like, I've been with you before?
You can't make this up. For the people that don't know who Samantha Jones is, let's highlight this real quick.
Oh my God, you're doing tequila shots? You see that buddy over there? I him. See that buddy over there?
Him too. I never thought I'd see them again.
Samantha Jones is the promiscuous character from the Sex and the City series, and in most episodes, she will
smash.
As a woman, you don't want to be compared with her. Hot Dog Carousel is no longer speculation. It's officially confirmed. And the fact that she gets back with the same men signals that she's looking for the same guys every time.
Please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. You will subscribe to this channel. And watch my other videos. I have plenty of other videos. Please watch them. Cheers.